so this is me talking about the MCU Phase 4. Has the MCU Phase 4 been good? It has not. It's been pretty mediocre at best. I'm just saying. The direction they've been going with the MCU as of late, it's not been winning me over. A lot of people left after Endgame, and I was one of those people too. But I keep up with the MCU because they have done good stuff, like good quality stuff with Winter Soldier, Iron Man, Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy, um, the Avengers first one, Infinity War, Thor. I even say Thor Ragnarok, which I had issues with, but that was good enough. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, that's about it. Johnson, what about Captain Marvel? Fuck Mrs. Marvel. Okay. So, anyway, let's be realistic here. Her name is not Captain Marvel, it's Miss Marvel. They made her Captain because I think Marvel run the rights to the name because it was going against DC at the time. Because we know who Captain Marvel really is. Shazam! But we're not really going to talk about that. That's a whole nother video for another day. So, but yeah, what the fuck ever. So, let's talk about this right now. The phases, like, let's go with their film department and we'll go to their TV department. The only films that have been good to me and memorable to me have been Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and Spider-Man No Way Home. The best one has been Spider-Man No Way Home. But remember, that is a joint production with Sony. You know why that looks the best out of all the films is because Sony had money involved in it as well as MCU did. The MCU has a budget. If you notice, a lot of their money have went into their television shows. It don't mean a goddamn thing because if you watch goddamn She-Hulk, you think they don't have no money in the motherfucking world and it's run by the House of Motherfucking Mouse. So here we are today. I'll get to that damn TV shows in a minute. I got something to say about the motherfuckers. But yeah. So that's that. And then it just has not been good. Hell, even Captain Marvel. Not a huge fan of the show, of the film, but it looks better than most of their films. Black Widow looks terrible. This, other than the film itself was not good, but the film looks terrible with the CGI because of the budget they are now going to these TV shows. The Eternals was not bad, boring, but, could have been a hell of a lot better too. That CGI is not as bad as Captain, Black Widow. Hell, Doctor Strange CGI is not that good either at most parts. Hell, the CGI. You know what? The CGI in Eternals is good. It's just the film was boring. Doctor Strange is actually one of the one of the top better films. But if you take Spider-Man away, it's really Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange. Because the rest of the films have not been good. Yes, we will get to Thor, Love and Thunder. And that film in itself it's not good. I think it's one of the worst Thor films that came out. I hate Thor, Dark of the World. But you can tell there was a story there. You could tell there was effort put in. But, ideas clash and directions for one director wanted to do this and another person wanted to do this. And you can clearly see it. And there was a lot more weight to it, especially the death of the mother of Thor and Loki, and you could tell that. So you can really tell there's a lot more story in there than anything. And that's what I appreciate, story and characters. And from where they went from the first Avengers, Thor and Loki, that was the best way. So, with that being said, let's get into the TV shows. If I miss another film, forgive me. It is what it is. WandaVision was okay, but wasn't necessary. And I do not like the fact, and I'll say this before I'm blue in the face, I don't like the fact that it had to be connected to a film. Because if people don't finish the show, how are they going to know what's going on in the film? That's not good. Like, I think that's bad business. That's a bad business tactic. And it's, again, you're alienating the film-based audience. Let them watch whatever on... And here's the thing. This is where I'll give DC credit during their run of debacle films, their TV department was separated, which made them do whatever they wanted to do, which made the TV department flourish very well. Why do you think people like The Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, all these shows? Because it was on its own world, which was not bounded by the laws of the Warner Brothers saying, okay, that's embargo, you can't use this, you can't do that. And if they would, the shows wouldn't work out. So they had a little bit more leeway. Granted, there were certain characters they were taken away for the films, but that's personally fine. I'm okay with that. It is what it is. But, I know that was a headache. But it worked. They should have done that too. The show should have been separated from the film. And in that instance, and what I mean by it is the show WandaVision should be as its own little thing, not connected to Doctor Strange. Again, that's a Doctor Strange film anyway. Why the fuck WandaVision needs to be connected to a Doctor motherfucking Strange film? Should Wanda be connected to a WandaVision film? Just saying. Anyway, it is what it is. But I didn't like that. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I thought it was okay. Could have been better. For what I want from it was okay. But not great either. Loki was actually my favorite because I'm a big fan of Tom's Loki. It did get a little jarring towards the end, but I was a fan of his stuff, so I was like, yeah, I'm actually excited for this. And then we move on to Moon Knight, and sorry, I forgot about Hawkeye. Right, everybody forgets about Hawkeye. Other than Kingpin, I don't care. So, moving on to Moon Knight. That was pretty good too. But again, if you notice, each of these series budgets, CGI doesn't look good. And by the time the films come out, and you could tell the budget for the films went to the budgets. And the films have suffered for it. A lot so. Because I'm a fan of MCU, not for the shows, but for the films. That's how I got into the MCU. Their shows, on the other hand, they're Netflix shows, not these new ones that are supposed to be coming out. Born to Die, Daredevil. We'll see how that turns out. Moon Knight. Now, Miss Marvel was another one. I saw a little bit of it. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't my cup of tea. She-Hulk, as you clearly see in the beginning, can't stand her. You can't stand her show. The comic version, love her. 90s version. The new version, hate her. And it's just sending a message, not trying to give me a good story, good characters, and either belittling the characters that I used to like Hulk, and trying to tear them down, saying, "Oh yeah, I can control my anger. Your ass can't because he's a man." You saying man can't control their angers? They can. Hulk has worked a whole life to control his anger, and for her to say that's laughable. Hell, the motherfucker has turned into a beta because he's controlling his anger now, which I hate. I love the angry Hulk. That's why people fall in love with the character. But it is what it is. So, but to answer my question, I think MCU. I think my thoughts on Marvel Phase 4 has not been good. It's been pretty bad. And no, She-Hulk's not the problem. It's just a lot of this. It's just they got too much. Their hands are in too many cookie jars and not in one jar and just trying to get that one cookie out that motherfucking jar. Now they think they got all these jars. They can get all these motherfucking cookies, but it ain't working. It ain't working, bruh. It ain't. Hope that analogy makes sense. I thought it made sense in my head. But as always, guys, like, subscribe. Peace out. Johnson Dad. See you guys in the next video.